chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win. Both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. Definitely he is.
He's number one right now. Number one. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather has finally spoken about his plans to return in 2026. He also confirmed that his first commitment will be this year in the highly publicized fight with Mike Tyson, but made it clear that it will only be an exhibition. What caught attention was his revelation that, after Tyson, he is preparing for a professional fight, potentially with Terence Crawford. Mayweather said talks are ongoing for a real sanctioned fight and emphasized that both he and his team are working hard to make this return official.
Everything is going great. You know, I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
When conversations about dream fights emerge in boxing, one name always lingers at the center: Floyd Mayweather. Even in retirement, his presence overshadows much of the sport, and debates about whether he could have beaten today's champions never seem to end. Recently, Robert Garcia offered a sharp reality check on the idea of Mayweather facing Terence Crawford. Garcia highlighted that while Mayweather's career is filled with unmatched success, he never accomplished what Crawford and Manny Pacquiao did, becoming undisputed champions. Still, Garcia admitted that his respect for Mayweather's skill and aura makes him lean toward picking Floyd to win if such a fantasy matchup ever occurred.
Man, he doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed, is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more. Pacquiao was 8 divisions, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Robert Garcia didn't hesitate to underline the unique feats that set Crawford apart. Crawford has done what Mayweather never did: unify every belt in a division. Manny Pacquiao, too, carved out achievements across multiple weight classes with undisputed recognition. Garcia pointed out that this is where Floyd's record appears incomplete. Mayweather dominated his opponents, stayed undefeated, and secured legendary wins, but undisputed status remained out of reach. For Garcia, that doesn't diminish Floyd's greatness, but it does highlight that Crawford belongs in conversations as one of the sport's most complete fighters. Despite acknowledging Crawford's accomplishments, Garcia leaned on his first-hand experience in the sport to explain why he would pick Floyd to win. He argued that Floyd's defense, timing, and ring IQ were simply on another level.
I'd probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. Definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. You know, fucking, that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. You know, all these new things going on. I think it's going to be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Aid Oladipo emphasized that there are 2 versions of Floyd Mayweather, both equally iconic. On one hand, there was Pretty Boy Floyd, the fearless young fighter who dismantled opponents with speed, aggression, and sharp combinations. On the other hand, Money Mayweather became the businessman, the master of defense, and the pay-per-view king who built boxing's biggest empire. Oladipo described Floyd as a genius who crafted not only his fighting style, but also his image, ensuring that both personas carried their own aura. Pretty Boy Floyd won fans by taking risks and delivering knockouts, while Money Mayweather captivated audiences with mind games, technical mastery, and the ability to turn fights into global spectacles. Together, both sides of Floyd's career left an imprint on boxing that few can match, making him more than just a fighter, but also an architect of the sport's modern business model.
Wait, sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s, and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking. I watch the whole fucking episodes, and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then. And I get it. I get it, right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm going to work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm going to work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh, shit, man, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had, obviously, the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fights. You know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd, look, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Zab Judah, who shared the ring with Floyd in the past, did not hesitate to crown Terence Crawford as the king of this generation. He highlighted that every era has its star, and right now Crawford holds that torch. Judah recalled how Canelo Alvarez once stated that Crawford might be better than Floyd, and he said those words should not be taken lightly. For Judah, Crawford has already shown that he can dominate top-level competition across multiple weight classes, and his style is so complete that no one has yet found a way to break him down. By acknowledging this, Judah showed respect to Floyd's legacy while also making it clear that the current moment belongs to Crawford. He believes comparisons between fighters of different eras are natural, but insists that Crawford deserves to be celebrated as the #1 fighter of today's generation.
Right now, #1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What did you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You'd like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, I think so.
Breadman Edwards had a different take on the discussion, choosing to shut down the idea of Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford. He argued that such a matchup feels forced and unnecessary, as Crawford deserves to enjoy his current success without being constantly compared to legends from the past. Edwards added that if Floyd really wanted a crossover spectacle, a fight with Roy Jones Jr. would make more sense because of the names involved and the fan curiosity it would generate. In his eyes, Crawford is in his prime and should be celebrated for what he is accomplishing now rather than being dragged into fantasy debates. Edwards stressed that pitting him against Floyd not only undermines Bud's moment, but also distracts from the historical significance of his achievements. For him, boxing needs to stop chasing impossible matchups and instead let Crawford stand as the symbol of greatness in his own time.
Obviously, never going to get this fight, unfortunately, just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win. But if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as that's 50-50, man? I don't know. Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, and they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd would be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, and make up something just to, I got my opinion on, how the fights would go, and but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter, and I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. And unfortunately, they didn't fight. They could have made they kind of two different eras though. Even though they was fighting at the same time, Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we got to just live with it. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter weighed in on the bizarre announcement of Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson, calling it a potential street fight rather than a sanctioned boxing event. He explained that there is real tension between Floyd and Mike, with both men carrying long-standing resentment toward each other. Porter suggested that their beef could make the fight personal, something that goes beyond skill and strategy. Because of that, he doubted whether boxing authorities would approve such a clash in any official capacity. According to him, the spectacle might generate buzz, but it could also cross lines that the sport does not want to see crossed. For Porter, the risk of chaos outweighs the appeal, making him skeptical that the fight will ever happen inside a proper ring. Several analysts also voiced frustration over the trend of exhibition fights involving legends like Floyd, Mike Tyson, and even Jake Paul. They argued that these events are less about competitive boxing and more about drawing attention with big names.
You don't see this one coming unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like it makes sense for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in the ring situation. And so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened. And then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
Yeah, you're not kidding, right? Obviously we watched Mike Sean in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously, there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there, despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show. We already know, like we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable, but it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring. It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
You think it falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced. So,
right.
Many pointed out that fans did not even enjoy the spectacle of Jake Paul's fights, questioning why boxing continues to lean on retired icons instead of elevating the stars of today. To them, this signals a weakness in the current generation of fighters who are unable to capture mainstream attention on their own. Analysts fear that if this continues, boxing will rely too heavily on nostalgia, turning away from its roots of authentic competition.
Stuff like this? No, I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like the fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta's a sitting champion. At least these two are retired, but this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue, but it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that. It is not good. This is why we need people like Turkey Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this and Jake and Gervonta is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that now. Because, yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he'd be right. But we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike was dangerous enough for Jake not to engage with him. But Jake, not engaging with him, just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised, and we all feel like, yeah, that wasn't a fight because clearly Mike is not the same, and clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually put him away.
Joe Rogan gave his perspective by focusing on the personal dynamics between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. According to Rogan, Floyd has never liked Mike from the early days, and that tension could spill into the ring if they ever fight. He suggested that Floyd's approach might not be the typical defensive strategy fans are used to seeing. Instead, Rogan speculated that Floyd could actually aim for a knockout to settle the grudge once and for all. While Floyd has never been known for seeking knockouts late in his career, Rogan emphasized that personal animosity can change everything. The possibility of Floyd abandoning his usual cautious style to prove a point against Mike is what makes this scenario so intriguing, even if it remains unlikely.
Really? So they're not trying to knock each other out?
No, well, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather.
Yes.
But they like
Mike
money.
Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, or I'm going to try to knock this motherfucker out.
It would be Floyd? They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight, no
fighting.
disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect.
Yeah.
They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Yeah. Working.
I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements. Really? If there was a moment
They've
to
had
crack.
beef for years.
Yeah. If there was a moment to really... Could he hit him? I mean, that little motherfucker can move still. At 50 years old, he's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as fuck.
As fuck.
But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Dude, Bernard
49?
Hopkins was
49.
still at the best in the world at 50.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That doesn't mean shit, though. With this. Because he
Kentucky's
was
got-
active fighting contenders.
Kentucky's
You're talking
got
about
Gomez
retired
on the
guys.
ground.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting the
that's
exhibition.
so
It's just
weird.
money grabs.
It's so weird,
Yeah, it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's but it's not really fighting.
So Jake Paul's not
entertainment.
going to actually be trying to knock out Gervonta Davis. You know?
There's a reason it
If
says
I had to
exhibition.
guess- If I had to guess, yeah. The
Jake's-
event itself would be a world-class venue and be presented to a global audience with new in-ring technology elements that will reshape how boxing is presented and scoring is achieved for years to come. What does that mean?
That shit has Abu Dhabi written all over
What
it.
does that mean? This is Tyson versus Mayweather. What does that mean? Where are they doing that? Are they doing that in Saudi Arabia?
But of course.
But of course.
Because they have all the money.
My friend.
And they just go, what do
Yeah.
you want to see? I'd always like to see Floyd Tyson.
Who wants to fight an alligator?
Ariel Helwani closed the discussion with a practical analysis, saying the Floyd versus Mike fight is unlikely to take place in any official form. He explained that most insiders view it as nothing more than an exhibition for entertainment and money. More importantly, Helwani said that many see it as a potential warm-up for Floyd's next real fight, which could be against Terence Crawford in a professional setting. By framing the Mike bout as merely a sideshow, Helwani redirected attention to the more serious possibility of Floyd returning to sanctioned competition. In his view, the exhibition is just a placeholder designed to generate buzz, while negotiations for a Crawford fight unfold.
And Mayweather has been out of the spotlight for a lot longer now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's interest in that.
Does it happen, GC?
No.
No.
Which has more of a chance of happening, Connor? White House card or
White House
Mayweather
card seems
versus-
to be happening. I got to eat my curl on that one. It's
Yeah.
tough. Tyson Floyd,
no chance.
Also, even if it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans, but also that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like
against
early
Jake Paul-
50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't do
Against
it
the
anymore.
guy around his size, too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but
So
no, not as small as Floyd though. Don't
Yeah,
get
Roy fought at heavyweight at
Yeah,
one time.
yeah, Floyd is very small.
Mike Roy was super interesting. It was in the very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but, you know, we were still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And, like, Tyson hadn't fought. It was nostalgic. It was Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's, you know, a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know. Okay, now what's the appeal here? You know what I mean?
Two of the greatest boxers ever to fight each other.
Just, I feel like we just saw that with Tyson and Roy. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the same hook.
I feel like Tyson and Roy didn't have the same, like, vast reach that
was a
Jake
big deal.
Paul versus...
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.